I was a kid, I loved Spider-Man. Watching him swing from rooftop to rooftop, maneuver around streetlights with the ease of an expert trapeze artist, and finesse his way through countless foes was an integral part of my formative years. But as I got older, things changed. I didn't just want to watch Spider-Man, I wanted to be Spider-Man. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to do exactly that. How to develop rhythm and precision in order to locomote and move just as well as your favorite wall crawler, and develop the strength to go along with it. So, let's get into it, and stick around until the end of the video for a surprise reward. Rhythm and precision. If you want to train for movement mastery, being able to time your decisions is a must. Skipping is the king of rhythmic exercises, but we don't have to start there. Simply bouncing back and forth and transitioning weight from one foot to the other can result in precise foot control and rhythm development. You'll be hard-pressed to find a striker who doesn't drill this movement constantly. Even just jumping rope can build incredible consistency and control in the calves. From this base, we can start incorporating random beeps, complex footwork, and wider gait cycles. The more diverse your lower body movement is, the more applicable your rhythm will become. Not only that, but your hips as a whole will get stronger. Dynamic gait cycles, like strafing or single leg bounding, require full spectrum hip strength in order to be used effectively. Hip extensors, flexors, adductors, and abductors will all be forced to work acutely through any sort of dynamic lower body movement. Not to mention the unparalleled calf and Achilles development. Precision refers to how accurately you can place your body or tool in space. Things like machine rows require a very low amount of precision, whereas point jumping will require an extraordinarily high degree. Training coordination also inherently translates to better precision. Take, again, the pulse jump. The raw movement is fantastic in and of itself, but adding tape to the ground for specified landing points will take it to a whole new level. Having environmental demands, even if they're arbitrary, forces a better relationship between your body and the world around it. Over time, training in a like fashion will create skills and strength that are not only impressive in a vacuum, but applicable in real life. Once coordination is mastered, a whole new world awaits. And what if that world around you wasn't just a backdrop, but a playground? And what if the world around you wasn't just a backdrop, but a playground? What if every wall, ledge, and obstacle was an opportunity to move, explore, and create? Too often, our approach to fitness is confined to sterile, sedentary exercises that are fantastic for hypertrophy, but they miss the bigger picture. When we talk about movement freedom, there is no better example than Spider-Man. Throughout my time as a coach, the topic I most often preach against is an over-reliance on single-joint sedentary exercises. These are largely machine-based and don't do a whole lot for the body other than hypertrophy. That's great, but most of us want more. And to every yin, there's a yang. Locomotion, and movement training as a whole, forces the body to work in tandem with itself, incorporating not just one joint, but ideally all of them, in order to move from point A to point B. Now, when most of us think about locomotion, walking is the clear answer. After all, the majority of the population lives in dense urban areas, where sidewalks are the only paths from point A to point B. The appeal of Spider-Man is in his ability to reject that norm. Every wall is a pathway, gaps between buildings are speed bumps, and obstacles are nothing more than opportunities to showcase his arsenal of acrobatics. This may all sound fantastical, but it doesn't have to be. Simply by being able to rest in a deep squat and learning how to crawl on your hands and knees can open up a whole new realm of movement opportunities. Then, once you're comfortable, start adding new factors like balance, speed and direction changes, or even jumping. After all, we don't only walk in a straight line, so why would you crawl that way? Being able to dynamically change directions, speed, and be expressive on all fours is just as important as it is to be expressive on two legs. By mimicking our bipedal motions on all fours, we can explore new opportunities and challenge the wrists, elbows, and shoulders in ways that likely haven't been experienced. And if there's one thing our bodies love, it's novelty. Providing yourself with new opportunities to learn and move is vital to long term health. There's no better way of doing so than play. Grappling, tumbling, or just play with the littles can all be greatly enhanced by understanding how to balance and locomote on your hands. Getting yourself comfortable on the ground is the first step to a mental movement revolution. And for those of you with kids, this is all but essential if you want to stay active with the little ones. Exploration counts as well. Learning how to land on your hands, practicing handsprings and inversions can lead to fantastic workouts with even better brain gains. Not to mention, this stuff is just awesome. I always feel better when I'm unlocking new ways to move my body or master a new skill than when I add another plate to some conventional lift. I love deadlifts, don't get me wrong, but being able to balance on my hands for longer is way cooler. Not to mention, as we get older, the harm of falling becomes more and more real. Learning how to fall and roll properly needs no explanation of its benefits. It's well documented that learning how to properly disperse force leads to lower rates of injuries later in life. But it's also just common sense. If you want to train like Spider-Man, chances are you're going to be taking some risks eventually as your movement journey progresses. If you don't know how to counteract those risks properly, you're going to end up hurting yourself. Crawling is only the first step into a realm of physical freedom. Climbing and free running can change the way you interpret the world around you. Seeing the physical realm in 3 dimensions literally opens traversal abilities to new heights. It's as simple as acquiring a muscle up to some degree of competency and then working on your grip strength. Adding different angles, such as ladders, climbing ropes, and gymnastics rings to your routines will help your body to adapt to different stimuli that might appear in the real world. Your training should reflect your performance after all. If you want to be able to scale urban skyscrapers, practicing with crimps, geometrical holds, and becoming accustomed to the feeling of metal is a must. Likewise, if you're looking for more of a Tarzan approach than a wall crawler, trees, ropes, and wood rings are the easiest tools of the trade. All that being said, climbing skills don't mean a whole lot if you can't actually reach your grips. Jumping is one of the most common forms of athletic locomotion, second only to sprinting. And for good reason. Being able to traverse vertically and horizontally with speed, power, and precision can help to bridge gaps between static and dynamic movement practices. Take crawling, for example. Having a solid understanding of how to balance on 3 or 4 limbs in conjunction with jumping can lead to some really cool vaulting maneuvers that are not only efficient, but expressive. It's in this realm that combining the different elements of terrestrial locomotion really starts giving you that exaggerated swagger of Spider-Man. Now, I've never swung through New York on a web. However, I don't doubt that it's similar to the feeling of a well-timed reverse vault, or a perfectly executed dash. And seeing as how none of you can likely shoot webs, learning how to jump and launch yourself in the air is one of the most efficient ways of changing direction without adding an extra step to your gait cycle. For athletes, this is paramount to success. Skater hops, 180s, and even launch variations can all provide athletic and thrilling means of switching our body's orientation without any time wasted. Granted, all of these are physically dominated skills, which on their own will certainly provide power, but there's still something missing in order to make them useful. No matter your goal, there must be some sort of strength component. And for Spider-Man, this comes in the form of range of strength work. Finding the most stretch possible makes normal exercises more well-rounded by incorporating tendon development and flexibility work. While most gym goers know a full stretch is a straightforward path towards muscle hypertrophy, taking that end range a step further engages tendons as well, making for even more resilient and powerful joints. Allowing for that deep stretch also increases functional range of motion, which means the joint can not only stretch further, but also perform tasks at a further range. The easiest example of this is in kicking. Now, I can kick someone in the head and have been doing so for many years. However, if you ask me to take all of the momentum out of my leg, it's not going up very far. That's a limit in my functional range of motion. Same thing is true for deadlifts. I'm sure most of you have heard not to bend your back on a deadlift, which is true for some people. Bent back deadlifts, like hack lifts or Jefferson curls, do have their own benefits, but most people's range of strength and functional range of motion doesn't allow for as much weight to be held in those compromised positions. But like any other muscle or tendon, we can progressively overload it and get people prepared for when their body needs to be in those positions. Pelican push-ups, Cossack squats, and deep dips all allow the body to train in these extreme ranges while reaping the benefits of raw strength. Beyond weights, calisthenics are a much too slept on means of strength training. Most people stop training calisthenics at the simple push-ups, pull-ups, and squats, but there are hundreds of variations of dynamic and worthwhile strength work. Hindu push-ups, for example, train spinal extension while developing shoulders, the traps, and even triceps, along with forearms because of the dynamic load placed on your base. By finding what angles work best for your goals and a little creativity, the limits of calisthenics are endless. Even things like squats, which are a notorious weakness in the bodyweight training community, can be leveled up significantly with single leg variations and applying range of strength principles. A single leg sissy squat is one of the hardest leg exercises I know how to do and requires nothing but body weight to accomplish. And like everything else we've discussed here, calisthenics can be done wherever you are. And for a lot of people, that takes out any excuse for inconsistency. Long gone are the days of needing to go to the gym. You are the gym. So there you have it. An in-depth guide on how you can train just like Spider-Man. Now, one of the things that always resonated with me about this character is that he's just a guy. He has his challenges, and a lot of those are financial. Won't make any sense for him to buy a workout routine, so you're not going to have to buy one either. Click the link in the description for a full 3-month training program to get you moving and performing just like Spider-Man. It has tutorials and a nice playlist linked through another YouTube account, and we'll take you through step by step how to get yourself in shape. If you like this video, we upload weekly training philosophy, superhero training, and tool highlights that you might not be aware of. For more short form content, follow us on Instagram at Invictus Training Methods, and be sure to hit that like and subscribe button down below. Comment what you want to see us cover next. I always love hearing your ideas. Till next time, keep crawling forward.